Imagine attacking the most sacred place on earth, a place millions face every single day in prayer, a house built for the worship of Allah. Now imagine this. Every army that tried to dishonor the Kaaba became a warning for history itself, from giant elephants to catapults to massacres to gun battles inside Masjid al-Haram.
This is the terrifying history of every major attack on the Kaaba.
For over thousands of years, the Kaaba has stood in the heart of Makkah, simple in appearance, but unmatched in importance. According to Islamic tradition, Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and his son, Prophet Ismail, peace be upon him, raised its foundations by the command of Allah. Since then, it became the center of worship for believers. Every day, millions of Muslims around the world turn toward the Kaaba while praying. Rich or poor, black or white, Arab or non-Arab, everyone stands equal before Allah. The Kaaba is not just a building. It is a symbol of unity, peace, and submission to Allah. And because of its importance, throughout history, enemies, tyrants, extremists, and power-hungry rulers tried to attack it. Some wanted political control, some wanted fame, and some believed they could challenge the sacred limits set by Allah Himself. But every attack left behind a terrifying lesson, because the Kaaba remained standing, while the attackers became part of history's warnings. The first major attack happened before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was even born. Around 570 CE, a powerful ruler named Abraha controlled Yemen under the Abyssinian kingdom. Abraha wanted Arabs to stop visiting Makkah, so he built a massive church in Sana'a, hoping people would travel there instead of the Kaaba. But the Arabs still honored the Kaaba, still traveled to Makkah, still respected the sacred house built by Prophet Ibrahim. That made Abraha furious, so he made a terrifying decision. He would destroy the Kaaba completely. Abraha gathered a huge army, and with them came something Arabia had almost never seen before: giant elephants. The ground shook as the army marched toward Makkah. People panicked. The Quraysh knew they could never defeat such a massive force. No army in Makkah could stop war elephants, so the people left the city and trusted Allah for protection. And then, something unbelievable happened. According to Surah Al-Fil in the Quran, Allah sent birds in flocks carrying small stones, tiny stones, against a giant army. But those stones destroyed Abraha's forces completely. The mighty army collapsed before even reaching the Kaaba, and the man who came to destroy Allah's house never succeeded. This event became known forever as the Year of the Elephant, and that same year, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born. Almost as if Allah was showing the world, this house is under His protection. Years passed. Islam spread across Arabia and beyond. But sadly, some of the darkest attacks on the Kaaba came not from foreign invaders, but during political struggles among Muslims themselves. One of the most painful periods began during the rule of Yazid ibn Muawiyah. First came the tragedy of Karbala. Imam Hussein ibn Ali, the beloved grandson of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, along with his family and loyal companions, were brutally martyred. The Muslim world was shaken. Then came another disaster. The city of Medina was attacked during the tragedy of Hara. Many innocent people and companions suffered terribly, and soon, Makkah itself became the next target. Abdullah ibn Zubayr refused to accept Yazid's rule. He established leadership in Makkah near the Kaaba. Yazid responded with military force. His army surrounded the holy city. Then something horrifying happened. Catapults were placed around Makkah. Huge stones were launched toward the city, toward the area surrounding the Kaaba itself. During the siege, fire spread. Parts of the Kaaba were damaged and burned. Imagine the shock of Muslims hearing that the sacred house was under attack. The very place where prayers echoed day and night, now surrounded by war, But not long after, Yazid suddenly died in 683 CE, and Abdullah ibn Zubayr rebuilt the Kaaba once again. Still, the pain of the event remained in Muslim memory forever, because it proved how dangerous political hunger can become. When power becomes more important than sacred limits, even holy places are no longer safe. But the suffering was not over. Later, during the Umayyad period, another siege struck Makkah, this time under Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, a man remembered in Islamic history for his harshness and cruelty. Abdullah ibn Zubayr continued resisting Umayyad rule from Makkah, so Hajjaj marched toward the holy city with his forces. Once again, catapults surrounded Makkah. Once again, stones flew across the sacred land near the Kaaba. Imagine standing beside the holiest site in Islam while explosions and destruction filled the air. It was heartbreaking. But Abdullah ibn Zubayr refused to surrender. He chose honor over fear, and eventually, he was killed. Historical reports mention that his body was publicly displayed after his death. But one moment from this tragedy still echoes through history. His elderly mother, Asma bint Abu Bakr, a woman of incredible courage. Even in old age, she stood fearless before Hajjaj. She spoke truth without fear. Her strength became a symbol of dignity and faith during one of Islam's darkest political moments. Later, the Kaaba was repaired again, but the wounds left behind were deeper than broken walls.
Then came one of the most horrifying attacks ever witnessed inside Masjid al-Haram.
The Qarmatian attack, year 930 CE. A violent extremist group known as the Qarmatians stormed Makkah during Hajj season. Pilgrims had come peacefully from across the Muslim world. Families, travelers, worshippers, people wearing simple white ihram, completely defenseless. Then chaos exploded. The attackers slaughtered pilgrims inside the sacred sanctuary itself. Blood filled the area around the Kaaba. Bodies were thrown near the Zamzam well. The Muslim world was horrified, but the worst was still coming. The attackers ripped the black stone, Hajar al-Aswad, from the Kaaba itself. Then they carried it away to Bahrain. Imagine the shock spreading across the Muslim world. The Kaaba stood there wounded, its sacred stone missing. For around 22 years, the black stone remained away from Makkah. Finally, after long negotiations and massive payments, it was returned. But this attack became one of the darkest scars in Islamic history, because even during Hajj, even inside the holiest sanctuary, human cruelty showed no limits. Then, in modern times, another terrifying event shocked the Muslim world. Masjid al-Haram. A man named Juhayman al-Otaibi entered the Grand Mosque with hundreds of armed followers. Hidden weapons were secretly brought inside. After Fajr prayer, everything changed instantly. The group suddenly pulled out guns and seized control of the mosque. Panic spread everywhere. Worshippers became trapped. The group claimed that Muhammad al-Qahtani was Imam Mahdi. They demanded people give allegiance to him. For days, gunfire and chaos echoed through the holiest site in Islam. Saudi forces surrounded the mosque carefully, because this was not an ordinary battlefield. This was Masjid al-Haram, the heart of the Muslim world. Religious scholars later allowed military action to stop the siege. A massive operation began. Saudi forces, along with assistance from Pakistani commandos and French tactical advisors, fought to retake the mosque. The battle lasted many painful days. Smoke filled sacred corridors. Bullets echoed where Quran was usually recited. In the end, Muhammad al-Qahtani was killed. Juhayman was captured alive. Later, he and several followers were publicly executed. Hundreds of people died during the siege. Worshippers, soldiers, militants. And after the attack, security around the Kaaba became far stricter than ever before. Throughout history, Armies came with elephants. Rulers came with catapults. Extremists came with hatred. Militants came with guns. Again and again, people tried to harm the Kaaba. But one thing never changed. The sacred house remained standing. Because for Muslims, the Kaaba is not protected by walls alone.
It is protected by the will of Allah.
And every attacker eventually became a lesson for future generations. Some were destroyed instantly. Some lost their power. Some became symbols of disgrace in history. But the Kaaba remained, still calling millions toward prayer, still uniting hearts from every corner of earth. And maybe that is the biggest lesson of all. No matter how dark history becomes, the symbols of truth and faith continue to survive.
If this reminder touched your heart, make sure to share this video and subscribe Islamic Legacy for more powerful stories that bring history to life. And never forget, empires fall, armies disappear, but the Kaaba still stands.